We talk about the leader, the military, the nuclear program. But there's a part of North Korea we don't usually talk about that touches all aspects of life there, that can be traced straight back to the country's founding myths. The mountains. They help explain why North Korea has become a ruthless police state, ruled by a 33-year-old dictator, and why that matters now. About 80% of the Korean peninsula is mountainous. Most of those mountains are in the north. And above them all towers the volcanic Mount Paektu.
Magnificent Mount Paektu is one of the 5 famous mountains in our country.
The crater at the top, which is now a lake, formed during one of the largest eruptions in history.
The mountain is a mysterious one where wonders are made.
More recently, just 6 years ago, an unusual snowstorm enveloped the mountain's peak. Layers of lake ice gave a tremendous crack. And as the sun rose, a message carved into the mountain glowed bright. Mount Paektu, Holy Mountain of Revolution, Kim Jong-il. Kim Jong-il, the country's second leader, father of the current one, had just died. And these were natural wonders that marked his passing. At least that's what state propaganda said. Mount Paektu is a hugely important spiritual symbol for North and South Korea, and the Kim dynasty exploits this to legitimize its rule. They claim to be from the Paektu revolutionary bloodline. So the legends go, the country's founder, Kim Il-sung, fought the Japanese occupation of Korea from Mount Paektu. His son, Kim Jong-il, was said to be born in the secret base on its slopes. Not exactly. Historians actually say he was born in Russia. The truth is, Kim Jong-il manufactured the Paektu bloodline myth to make sure he'd become his father's successor. And so, the mountain is a big part of the Kim's cult of personality. They're often juxtaposed with the rugged terrain to project strength. There's even this hit North Korean pop song. It's an ode to Kim Jong-un visiting the mountain. And since he's young and inexperienced, Kim Jong-un himself now uses the bloodline to legitimize his rule. Some analysts say it also provided a context for murder. They believe Kim had his half-brother killed in 2017 in a Malaysian airport because he too shared the Paektu bloodline and was seen as a threat.
In Korea, United Nations troops push on in the cautious advance against the communists.
This is Curtis LeMay, a top-ranking U.S. Air Force general during the Korean War. That's the conflict that left the peninsula divided. He once said, "We went over there and fought the war and eventually burned down every town in North Korea." The country was leveled. Millions died. And in 1958, the U.S. installed nuclear weapons in South Korea, its ally. So as Kim Il-sung set about rebuilding and rearming what would become North Korea, all of this was on his mind. He began to dig under the mountains, and North Korea became one of the most heavily fortified countries in the world. There's an estimated 8,000 to 15,000 underground facilities. Factories are underground. There's underground Air Force hangars and runways that cut through mountains. Naval bases with underground ports. Artillery pieces shielded in caves. The world's 5th largest army, hidden and protected by mountains. Now Kim Jong-un is hidden too, often traveling through long mountain tunnels to evade spy satellites and other would-be threats. So any attack on North Korea isn't just about penetrating rock face. It's about knowing where the targets are in the first place. 60 miles southeast of Mount Paektu sits Mount Montauk. This is the heart of North Korea's nuclear program. All 6 of the country's nuclear tests took place here. This cross-section, which shows 2 of those tests, gives you an idea of just how these are taking place. But the tests may be taking a toll on the mountain. Analysts say test-induced tremors and landslides like these on the mountain before and after a recent test may mean some tunnels at the test site have collapsed. But that doesn't mean the mountain can't sustain more tests, though. There's other unused tunnels at the site. And with war rhetoric at a dangerously high level, the next test may trigger more than just a landslide.